What is going on, Sooner Nation, Surgeaholics? Welcome back, Sooner Surge podcast that tells it like it is. I'm Jason. I'm here by myself for now until Jeremy joins. So stay with me. Appreciate everybody being on here as you always are. I see some great comments already. And Chester, big time thanks. Thanks for this comment. Appreciate it. Just want to say I'm thankful for the Surge Bros. Did this pod and kept with it. Best pod ever. Hey, thanks, Chester. Means a lot coming from our viewers like that. So y'all the ones that do it. Y'all the ones that keep it coming every night. So appreciate it. Sooner Cowboy, thanks for joining. Says, is OU's new DC on a Final Four college football playoff team currently? You know what? I've seen rumors about that. We talked a little bit about it last night. I'm not sure how that would even work. Okay. Now there are guys out there. I mean, for instance, the name Jim Knowles, I've heard it thrown around. Okay. So I'm just going to bring it up. Would Brent Venables bring in Jim Knowles to run Jim Knowles defense or Brent Venables defense? Because if you're bringing somebody in, we talked about last night, if you're bringing somebody in to run their own defense, shoot, yeah, you could do something like that, but not to run Brent Venables defense. So what's up, Teresa? How you doing? Hey, I'm going to try to stay with as many comments as possible. Hunter will be on a little bit late tonight. Jeremy will be a little bit late. So until they get on there, I'm going to do the best I can. Let's roll with it, guys. Texas getting smoked at home. One of the few teams in the SEC that is losing tonight at home. SEC road basketball, tough to win at, but Texas guys in basketball, they got beat by A&M the other day. They're losing to Auburn. Not having a really great year, really, for Texas in basketball. Sooner fan asked this: why would Knowles leave Ohio State for Oklahoma? I have no clue. I'm not saying that, Sooner fan. I am not saying that at all. I'm just saying you've heard people talk. You know what? I wouldn't bet on anything like that, Sooner fan. I just wouldn't. Where's Jason? Jason's right here. This is Jason. Howdy, Jim Kane. How you doing? Yeah, Jim Knowles is not coming. What about Iowa Sooners mentioned the name Iowa State as a possibility. DC at Iowa State. There it is. The nightly fire Joe John Finley comment. And I think Jason Becker got it on there before the hub tonight, which would be wild. Michael Neal, please expand on this. Are you saying Jim Knowles' fiance lives in Oklahoma City? And I think Max says the same thing. Listen, guys, Jim Knowles is a great defensive mind. There's a nightly Kel Gundy mentioned. Yeah, he beat you to it, Hub. Jim Knowles is an outstanding defensive coordinator. But would Brent Venables hire Jim Knowles to come in here and run Jim Knowles' defense or Brent Venables' defense? That would be my question, is what would he be running? Lives in Weatherford, Topher says. So there you go. Here comes the bring back the Kel. We're not. They've already been mentioned tonight, the Kel, and that's it. That's all we're going to do. We have to have the daily Kel comments in the chat. Arkansas D coordinator, heard that going around. I haven't heard that. Now, he's outstanding. He's a really young guy. I love him. He's a great recruiter, outstanding recruiter. I hear a lot about him here in Arkansas. Once again, it all depends on what you're bringing him in here to do. That's my whole thing, and we could talk about it all night. But what are you bringing in the DC to do? Are you bringing in the DC to call the defense and run it, or are you bringing him here to coach linebackers and Brent Venables call the defense? That's my question. That's my question to all you guys in the chat. What's it going to be? Is Brent Venables going to call the defense, or is he going to bring somebody else in and him not call the defense? I'm agree with the hub here. I think BV is going to be calling the defense. Now, it's January 4th. A lot of things can change. But I think a lot of the people would say Zach Alley left because he wasn't running the defense, right? So I don't know. If you get Jim, okay, Michael, let's talk about this for a second. If you get Jim Knowles, he runs his scheme. Okay, I would love that, Michael. But I don't think that's what would happen. Do you really think that Brent Venables would relinquish the defense to Jim Knowles and say, do whatever you want on defense? That's my question. And Sooner WX says BV's taking his time. I agree. There's no rush. Recruiting's over with. Okay. The portal's pretty much done with. Okay. So you can take your time on this. You can wait. If you want to talk to somebody that's in the play, you can talk to him after the playoff. You got time. I've heard a lot of stuff on the recruiting stuff. Okay. I've heard a lot about, well, you want to bring in a guy that's a great recruiter. And I would agree with that. Here's the issue, though. Whoever you bring in, if they're a great recruiter, it only works if Brent Venables sticks around for a while. Because if they come in for 1 year and then Brent Venables doesn't have a good year and he's gone, well, the recruiting doesn't really matter at that point because you're not going to be there. Probably they're going to have a whole staff changeover. So I do love the Arkansas defensive coordinator. He's a great recruiter. Yeah, and that's my point, Gray God. Recruiting won't matter if you go 6-7. BV's got to win this year. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it, okay? BV's got to win. BV is a great recruiter. Sheepdog. Let me say this. There's no doubt in my mind the last few days with Marvin Jones Jr., with Kendall Daniels, that BV was a major part of getting those guys. I get it. BV can recruit. That's never been a problem. You look at their recruiting rankings under Brent Venables in 4 years or whatever it's been. They've had good recruit. This was their worst class of the Brent Venables era, and it was what, 15th or 16th? And that's also, I mean, they didn't take a whole lot of recruits, so the numbers changed a little bit. But the point is, they've had good recruiting classes. Brent Venables can recruit. I don't think anybody's sitting on there saying, I don't know if Brent Venables can recruit. It's the coaching part and winning. You got to win games, period. End of story, end of discussion. They got to win games this year. And I really hope they do. I really hope they do. I like Brent Venables. I like him as a guy. I like him. I just want him to start winning. I'm sorry. I'm going to get to as many comments as I can, guys. Sorry if I'm running behind on these. As soon as Jeremy drops on here, Hunter will pick it up. Selwyn, BB will make sure this defense will be ran. It's why he's even here. Good comment. Sheepdog defense is good right now. We need dogs on the O-line. And Sheepdog, I agree. I think the defense is going to be good no matter who you bring in. I think the defense is going to be really good. You got to – and the O-line, I think they have O-line talent. It's just, can you get it all together, working together as a unit? They have talent there for sure at O-line. Let me read this Bronson comment. If BB wants to coach defense, then he needs to go be a defense coordinator somewhere. We need a head coach. Okay. I would agree with this, Bronson. I like the fact that a head coach would be a CEO and not calling one side of the ball. I like it. I'm just asking, can BB do that? Will he relinquish that? So that's what I'm asking. I've never met BB in person, Ron. Interesting fact, though. I know we've said this before, but an interesting fact. Our dad actually hired Brent Venables. One of his first jobs, Brent Venables' first jobs, was a sacker or a grocery bagger at a grocery store in Kansas, and our dad hired him. So heard of some stories about it, but not a whole lot. But yeah, winning fixes everything. We've had so many conversations over the last few weeks about stuff, and it doesn't matter. All the stuff we talked about, you wouldn't even be talking about if OU was winning. They got to win games. Somebody's saying it's not accurate of the Knowles wife that people put or fiance that people put in there. I don't know. So I don't really want to comment on it. Donald, why put in a new defense when your job is on the line? Promote Bates to DC, promote Skowski. And Donald, that's what you heard was probably going to happen early on. Now you're hearing this. I don't know what to believe. I'm a fan. I'm with you in the part of you're going to change your whole defense philosophy up when your job's, I mean, you've spent 3 years implementing this defense, which is a very complex defense to get guys to learn in and buy into it. Now you would change that and let somebody else totally change it. I don't see that happening. Now, could it? It could. I think that I'm back. I don't know what just happened, guys, but something happened. I'm back at you. Not sure what happened, but we saved it. All right. Let's talk about something that made the offense better besides John Mateer and Arbuckle. Are you talking about in the offseason, Sooner Freak 29? Yeah, whoopsies is right. And Benjamin says we're still waiting on that. Yeah. Well, fact of the matter is, since last year, I think they got some guys. You got John Mateer, you got Arbuckle, you got some receivers. You're not going to know a whole lot on the offense until you see it in action. Now, yeah, I did not go into the portal. Until you see this thing in action. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that they're going to be better on offensively. How could you not be? I mean, you can't be worse. I think they're going to put up a good amount of points this year, guys. I really do. But got to see wins. It's got to equate wins. That's what it got to equate. And you got to put it all together. Defense, offense, all of it. You got to put it together to equate wins. And that's what happens to happen this year. So who's the linebacker that we're expected to land according to the title of the video? Now, okay. So the linebacker from Oklahoma State, Robertson, he was third on the team in tackles. Jeff Robertson was for OSU last year. He's a senior. So he would be a guy that would come in with experience that had, I think, 52 tackles last year, 42 solo tackles, had some sacks, had an interception, has some experience. That's what you would get from him. So they need depth at linebacker. I think everybody would admit it. They need some depth. So I think he would be a good guy to get out of the portal. Gives you depth, gives you a guy that's played, gives you a guy that's not very young, so he has some experience. So I think that'd be good. I mean, guys, if you look at a linebacker, Kip, Kobe, if you move Sammy over there, who else am I missing? Kip, Kobe, Sammy. There's somebody else. Somebody help me out here. I'm drawing a blank. How am I drawing a blank? Well, you got Kendall Daniels probably going to play Cheetah. But you need depth at linebacker. Lewis Carter's gone. You need some depth there. So this would be a guy, Kanik. Yeah, Kanik's another one. Greg, God, don't get me. Don't get me. Good thing Jeremy was not on here. He'll be on here in a minute. Nest is the other one. Thanks, Zias. Appreciate it. It's funny because I was going to say Nest over Kanik. But Jeremy's going to be on here in a minute. When he sees that clip, he'll probably lose his mind. I don't know about Kanik, guys. I will say this. He tackled that snowman very hard on Twitter the other day. I mean, that was a clean tackle. If y'all saw that, clean. The way he hit him, it was not targeting. I don't know if y'all saw that. Built the snowman in his front yard, destroyed it. Maybe he's practicing his tackling drills there in Kansas. But it was definitely a clean hit, head to the side, no targeting. So we'll see what happens. We needed just some depth. So, okay, maybe it's a good one. Hey, I like it. Hey, Greygod, what do you think about it? I know you dropped the name in here. What is everybody else thinking about Jeff Robertson from OSU? What do you guys think about him? So let me know. Who's going to be our main running back? That's a great question. You know what? The crazy thing is Sawchuk and Barnes 2 years ago, everybody thought would be the guys. They're still there. Both of them. Right now, they're still there. Right now, I would not say that one of those would be a starter next year. I would think Robert Tatum would be over them. Now, I don't know what you guys think, but I just think Barnes is coming off another foot injury. And then Sawchuk last year, he didn't look the same to me. Did he look the same to you guys? And Sooner fans surprised he's not trim. He didn't look the same to me. He didn't look the same to me at all. I'd be down going with Robinson for depth. I think that's what that is. And Gregot says, should be a PWO take, but he's a Scully. Well, and you probably got to do it for depth right now. Let's see here. Let me get some more of these. No, John. If that's the case of BB just calling plays and let's rehire Ted Rowe. Okay. We all know that's not going to happen. Nobody wants that to happen. But I would love to know what the chat thinks. And here's what I'm going to ask. This is year 4 of Brent Venables, okay? Let me see if I can word this right. Year 4 of Brent Venables. You've seen the defense. They've gotten better every year, ranking-wise, and they've looked better, okay? What would you prefer next year? Brent Venables' job is on the line next year. Do you prefer they scratch everything defensively and go hire a guy like Jim Knowles? Or would you say hire somebody that's still Brent Venables' defense? AKA, would you want Jim Knowles to come in here and run Brent Venables' defense? To me, if you're going to bring a guy like that in, they need to run their own defense because they're good at that stuff. Now, guys like that know how to run defense. So I think that's and Sooner WX says BV's defense. And that's the thing. You've worked 3 years getting that. Chester, let me see if I can get Chester's comment. Slow and hesitant. I think that was talking maybe about Kanik. Tatum needs weight room. Yeah, he's a true freshman. I mean, not a whole lot you can expect from him. How about Walker? Walker ended up at Cincinnati. Yeah, he was a good player for Oklahoma. I miss him. Stick with BV's D. Jen says, I think a lot of people will say that. Hire a BV guy. You're limited there, but yeah, BVDs. That's a good one, Daniel. Daniel, hey, guys, I got to say this about Daniel. If you don't go look at the comments after the videos are done and the lives are done, Daniel puts some elite comments in there. They're hilarious. There's one right there, BVDs. Those are great. That's a great comment. I'm still not convinced BV called the defense by himself last year. He didn't. I don't think he did, Clark. Here's the thing. I don't think, and Chester says we had one, he left. He's talking about Zach Alley, a BV guy. I don't think he called every play last year. I don't think that at all. I think Zach Alley called a lot of the defenses. But have you ever been where you're told you can do stuff, you're told you have full reign, but then somebody's really watching and really, I don't know how to put it. I just think maybe Zach Alley wanted to do some things that Brent Venables didn't want to do. And maybe he wanted even more reign than he had. I have no doubt he called a lot of the plays. I think, and maybe that's the word I'm looking for, Grey God. That's it, maybe. Micromanagement. Maybe he wanted to have full reign and not be. Maybe it's with defensive scheme. Maybe it's whatever. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not in the full corners of the Switzer Center and can tell you that. But from an outside perspective, Zach Alley leaving tells me that there was a issue there with either maybe he wanted more control. Maybe he wanted not to be as Mr. B and Greg up at microman. I don't know. So what my point is, control freak. My point is this: you're going to bring in a big time DC. You're going to bring in a big time DC now to do the same thing. I think that's my point. Yeah, Lori, he'll be on there any minute probably. He'll be jumping on any second. So wait for him. He'll be on there. You can say hi. Probably finishing up his Bible study. And that's a lot of people are saying this. Clark, Donald, all of it saying it. So my point is this. If from an outside perspective, let's say, you are one of these big-time DCs. And, I mean, is that something you're going to want to go into? I just find that hard to believe. And I know people are throwing names out there, but my perspective as a fan from what I've watched, I find it hard to believe that they would go get a massive, massive defensive coordinator that's big time. Now, I could totally be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the last time. Unless, now listen, that could happen if BV's totally changed things the way he wants to do things. Would be the only way. And maybe he has. I don't know. But based off his previous history, I just couldn't see that. Zach called that Kip 6 against Auburn, but ultimately Venables gets the credit. Maybe he was and Selwyn, that's a good point. But here's my devil's advocate to you here, Selwyn. And you know I like to play devil's advocate. There is zero chance that Zach Alley didn't know what he was getting into when he came to Oklahoma. He's coached with Brent Venables before at Clemson. He knows there is zero chance he didn't know that coming in. So I get your point. Like he wants credit. He wanted to make his own name. Then he should have never came to OU. He knew what he was getting to at Oklahoma. I mean, 0.0. Okay. He knew it. And Sooner WX, that could very well happen. Hey, good night, Chester. Hope you have a good night at work. Jared Mayo. Hey, by the way, I thought that was a horrible fire. 1 year, give the guy a shot. I thought that was kind of weak, but who knows? I don't follow NFL that closely. Mac, BB still needs to learn how to be a head coach. He needs an elite D coordinator to handle all of the defensive responsibilities. Listen, and Jen has been saying, hand it to Halls of Ray. Hey, if this was year one of Brent Venables, or year two even, I would be all for bringing in somebody and saying, you know what, I don't want to have any. You run the defense, do whatever, get one of the best defensive coordinators out there. But that's not what happened. Brent Venables came in and wanted to run his defense. And if you're going to do that and you put 3 years into running your defense, why would you change it now? Like, I don't see that. I just don't see it at all. Now, maybe it happens, guys. I just would find out. And I don't know if a guy like Jim Knowles would come there to run Brent Venables' defense. He could run stuff of it, but I think ultimately they would want to do their own. But I don't know, okay? Hey, Mark, we're just talking about, people have been talking about it in the chat. That's all. We were bringing it up. It was brought up. I've seen people talking about it on Twitter, and we're just talking about it. That's what we do here. You know what we do on the Sooner Surge? A podcast that tells it like it is. It's fans for the fans. If fans want to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. Interesting point here by Talon. Does BB think he can merge a scheme with Knowles? Maybe Brent Venables thinking, let's try something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know why he would leave Ohio State, Jimmy. No clue, unless it's family related or wants to be in Oklahoma where he was before. I have no clue. I don't live with Knowles. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what his thoughts are. I'm not psychic either. If it was a simple Hall promote, that would have been done. I would agree with that, unless they're saying, okay, let's talk to other people and then do it. But I would think the same thing, Michael. It would already been done. The only thing good so far for the defense is the defense, so it would be stupid to change what is working. That's right. It's gotten better every year. Last year it was top 16. It keeps climbing in the rankings. You're getting guys out of the portal. I don't know why you would change it. And the Kendall Daniels, we talked about it a little last night. Guys, Kendall Daniels, I've heard a lot of people, OSU people mainly, whining about Kendall Daniels. He's lazy. I'm so glad he's gone. He just wasn't very good. That's a bunch of bull. Okay. Kendall Daniels, if he plays up to his potential, is really good. Really good. Now, can BV get that potential out of him? That's what you got to hope for, because he's an extremely talented guy. He is really good. It bothers me. It bothers me when OU fans do the same thing, guys. And Mr. B says sour grapes, but you know what? The fact of the matter is this: OU fans do the same thing when guys leave. Well, he wasn't any good anyway, or they're going after a recruit and they don't let him. Well, they didn't really need him. I hate that. OSU fans do it. OU fans do it sometimes to an extent. I don't like it either way. Yeah, Dow Post, we do. OU fans do. So don't. You're right. It happens all the time. And yeah, a bunch of bull rip, Miguel says. If anybody's watched Kendall Daniels, the body he's got for the positions he can play. I mean, he's uber athletic. He can play multiple positions. Yeah, Greg, great comment. Yet they're giddy over a 6-string running back. Now, I will say this, Greg God. I was really high on Caleb Hicks, and I don't think he got a fair shot at Oklahoma. I don't know the situation. I have no clue what DeMarco Murray did not see in Caleb Hicks. I've talked to multiple people, one of them being a player, that said he was unbelievable in practice. He was just so good. So I don't know what it was with Caleb Hicks. I hope Caleb Hicks does really good. I hope he has a good career at OSU. I would be giddy over Hicks. Yeah, I think he's good. By the way, I don't know if y'all saw this. The NFL draft class in running backs this year is insane. You know, the Boise State running back announced he's going pro, Genty. But guys, the NFL draft in the running back stock is crazy good right now for this year. Lori, come on, guys. There's over 200 in here. Hit the like. I'm solo. Hit the like until Jeremy or Hunter get on there. Please show them, hey, I can ride this thing solo for a bit. Hit the like for me. Please. Appreciate it. Hey, also check out the fan stop. You see the logo there. thefanstop.com. Use code SURGE. You get 10% off your first 3 months. Great officially licensed merchandise. They got beanies. It's cold outside. They got hoodies, all of it. Check them out. Let's see here. Get some more comments. Murray, a great player, maybe even a great recruiter, but not a good position coach. And I think that's, what we have to, where can he take the next step as a coach to development? I'm trying to think, okay, who do you think's been his best developed back? Would you say Eric Gray? I'm trying to think, and you guys can help me out in the chat because I can't think of all this, but I'm trying to think off the top of my head who's been his best developed back. And let's just throw out Eric Gray. Let's go from recruiting to they graduated or in that. So Kennedy Brooks, okay, probably, maybe, yeah. Hey, Mark. So Double Trouble, I think we're going to bring it back. It's something we did when we first started the YouTube stuff. We'll see if we bring it back. It was fun to do. We just kind of try to figure out fitting it in with doing live shows every night and stuff. Let me see if I can get to some of these. Brooks. A lot of people are saying Brooks. Eric Gray. I think a lot of people say Eric Gray. The only thing with and Aaron, thanks for joining tonight, Aaron. I don't think he was average. I think he was above average. He made an NFL roster. I think he's pretty good. What round will Dylan Gabriel be drafted? Very late. If he's drafted, it'll be very late, in my opinion. I hope he gets drafted higher than that, but I just don't see it. To me, if he didn't have a high draft grade last year, what changed this year to make it like so much better? Because he had a good year, but I don't have his stats for him. I don't think it was much different than last year stat wise. I may be wrong, but 6th round, a lot of people dropping in 6th or 7th round, 5th at best. I would agree with that. I would stick to probably 6 or 7 as well. I don't think 5. I don't think he can get to 5th round. 0. None. I don't think he can get there 5th round. Jackson says Eric Gray would start in any running back pursuits. Are you saying in college, Jackson? What's up, Aaron? How you doing? Bishop's asking Danny and Billy. Danny will be 2nd round at the worst. Maybe I would say worst would be 2nd round. Billy Bowman, I don't know. I haven't seen their draft grades, but safeties don't get drafted that high. I mean, Stutzman could make late 1st round, I think. I may be wrong on that, but he could. He had a really good year. I think he'll have a good combine if he does the combine and a good pro day. 13 more likes, guys, to get to 100. Let's get to 100 before Jeremy or Hunter get on here. That would be great. Billy, 3rd or 4th. Now, this is a good one. Ramonde Stevenson. I don't have it in front of me, and I don't have AI Hunter to look it up. So I'm going to need somebody from the chat to be AI Hunter. But look up, when did DeMarco get to Oklahoma as a position coach? What year was that? You guys ever going to have Stutzman? Yeah, we need to have him on again. We need to reach out. Season's over. He's enjoying his time. We've been we haven't really reached out, but we can reach out to him. I mean, it was always great having him on. He told it whatever he thought, like it is. I like that about him a lot. Benjamin says, thanks for holding it down solo, Jay. Since you're rocking the Marty McFly vest, are we going back to the future with this team next year? Hey, I am so glad that you said Marty McFly. I almost wore this as a Halloween costume this last year. And my wife and other people said, huh? What are you talking about? That doesn't look like Back to the Future. I said, yes, it does. They said, no, it doesn't. It absolutely does. Thanks, Benjamin. And thanks for the super. Appreciate it so much. Means a lot. Thank you for being on here nightly with us. Let's see here. There was something I was going to get to. Let me see if I can find it. BV still considered probably the best defensive coach. I think one of the best Sooner WX, but yeah, I would agree with that. What round is Terry going to go in? It depends on his pro day or combine. Probably. I would say probably. So Murray had Stevenson 1 year. So I don't think it's fair to say, thanks, Jackson, for looking that up. I don't think it's fair to say that Stevenson, he made him better maybe that one year, but I don't think it's fair to say that he developed him or anything. George Burns. George Burns is old, Ron. He was old in that movie, wasn't he? Are you saying I'm old? Okay, this is a great question that Benjamin started, so I'm going to go with it. And then Aaron put it here. You cannot include 2000. You cannot. You can't include 2000. What year would you like to take it back to? If it was Back to the Future, what year would you like to take it back to if you're for an OU squad? Not 2000. It can't be. Okay, let's preface this. It cannot be any national championship team. Not a national championship team. So it's got to be other than that. I see Daniel there. 2008, that was a great squad. 17, Talon Wolf. They should have won a natty, Talon. Should have won a natty, Gray God. Daniel Brooks says 2008. The 08 squad, okay, 2008 versus 2017. Tell me who you're taking and why. Who are you taking and why? 2017 was so good. It'd be hard not to take 2008, though, defensively. Two opposite teams as far as defense. I mean, 2017 didn't have the defense. 2008 had a baller defense that could just shut you down. And the offense was really good. And was that I'm trying to think the year. What year was it where Sam Bradford, they scored like 60 points over 60 in a row for like the last 6 games. I can't remember, something like that. 08 due to the talent on D. I would agree with that. Defense wins championships. It was proven with that 17 squad. They didn't have the defense. Now, Chester brings up the 07 team, saying thought and always will think the 07 was the fastest and most talented but young. Bradford Heisman season 08. So, guys, the close to that season was unbelievable. What they were doing to teams. Who was the receiver? Baker would cook 08. Oh, Greg, I'm bringing it. He was dropping bombs here. Hey, Daniel says, I played with most of the 2017 guys. 2008 would win, in my opinion. Hey, great comment coming from Daniel. He knows it firsthand. I got to say something. The wide receiver for Oklahoma with Sam Bradford. Remember Moses Madu? I think Moses Madu was very underrated, and they played him at back and receiver. Hey, I believe we may have Jeremy joining. Jerm, you on the line?
I am. Give me a second. I hope.
Hey, we've given you 32 minutes. What's another second? We can hold it down. I can hold it down.
I got a good story for you, Jay. I got a good story for you today, Surgeaholics.
Oh, let's hear it when you're ready. Hey, we're comparing. They said I look like Marty McFly, taking it back to the future. What team would you take it back to if you could take it back to the future? Could not be a national championship team. We've gotten a little debate here. 2008 versus 2017. Who you got and why?
2017 is not even close.
What? Why?
Joe Mixon.
Which one was a better balanced team?
Actually, 2017. Let me think about that more often.
The defense wasn't there, Germ. 2008 all day. Gray God agrees with you, but
I don't care what other people agree, Jay. My favorite team watching was that era right there.
I don't care what I didn't say. I'm asking who would win the game, Germ.
That's not what you said. Actually, you said if you could take it back to any year, what would you take it back to?
Germ, I have had nobody correct me on what I've said as far as English or any pronunciations for 33 minutes. You get on there, first thing you say is I said it, I used the wrong word. So let me rephrase it. 2008 versus 2017, who would win the game?
I'm still going 2017.
Wow. That's unbelievable, dude. And Daniel Brooks was on here, and Daniel Brooks said he played with those guys. He would pick 2008.
Okay, Jay, it's an opinion, dude.
It is, and that's fine. And your opinions are sometimes wrong, so are mine. So what's the story you were going to say, Jerm?
Well, what have I compared OU football to? The offense.
Your Honda Odyssey. Let me guess, did it shut down today or did you get a portal? Did you get a new car?
The Odyssey is not in the portal, no. Okay. But the Odyssey failed to start this morning. Actually, the last 2 mornings.
Well, yeah, it's freezing cold.
I got this thing jumped up, got it running again though, and guess what? Died again on me. So right now I'm sitting in the Walmart parking lot, but it is running. I got it, and the alternating charging this bad boy. It's going to be back better than ever.
Jeremy, you know what I bet? I would bet you quite a bit of money. One of the Surgeaholics would probably come help you out if you were stranded.
It's running right now. It's running.
Don't turn it off, dude. Keep it running.
I'm not. I'm going to go into the store in a little bit and leave it running.
Who's going to steal that thing? Nobody.
Hopefully someone, Jay.
Nobody's going to take that
off my hands.
Hey,
no, I'm very thankful for it. I'm very thankful for it, Jay.
Hey, that Honda Odyssey went from a scholarship van to a PWO van very quickly.
Hey, is Aaron saying I'm sunshine pumping?
No, he's sunshine pumping your Honda Odyssey. Hey, Eric, go help Jerem. Hey, here we go. I got to say something. Guys, one of our viewers has 2 tickets to the OU basketball game tomorrow that they're willing to give out. Now, here's the deal. We're going to ask a trivia question. But in all due respect for people who can't go to the game, don't respond to the trivia question. Because the answer to this trivia question, you're going to win 2 tickets to the game tomorrow night. Oklahoma versus A&M, a big-time matchup for Oklahoma that they got to win. Wade Taylor, the player for A&M, is out, not playing. It's big news. So if you can go, I'm going to ask you trivia here in a little bit. If you get it right, you'll have to email us, but there's a chance you can go to the game. But just throwing that out there for a little bit. Yeah.
And Delane, all the Surgeaholics coming to my rescue. I appreciate it. But right now, the Odyssey is heated right now. The heated seats on this bad boy still work. I'm feeling great. I'm on the Sooner Surge and ready to get after it. Bible study was great. Everyone's asking. 1 Timothy started tonight. Love it. Every minute of it. Okay. Let's rock this thing tonight, Jay. What's the topic?
There's been a lot of topics. There's been defensive coordinator topics. We talked a little bit about Jeff Robertson.
Let me talk about defensive coordinator because I've changed my tune.
Oh boy.
I've changed my tune.
Oh boy. Go for it, Jerm.
Here's when the names like Phil Parker or Knowles are mentioned, I'm all for making a hire.
You think let me throw 3 names out there. Iowa State defensive coordinator, Iowa defensive coordinator, and Jim Knowles. You think any of those guys would come to Oklahoma and run Brent Venables' defense?
I'm going to tell you what I said on the phone. Here's what I think. They might change it a little. They may keep it the same. Here's what I've really thought about, Jay. If he wants to bring a guy like Jim Knowles or Phil Parker in, guys that have proven it over multiple years, to me, here's where a DC doesn't get enough credit. You ready? You ready, Jay?
Yeah.
When people think of OCs, they think, man, their play calling skills. When people think of DCs, they don't think about the play calling. OU, if they want to bring a guy in like that who wants to, like, you got to know when to blitz. That's what a DC does. Make the calls. Whether or not the scheme, whatever the scheme is, make the calls.
Okay, Jerm. What I'm asking is, what scheme would they run? Brent Venables, their own. Which one?
It'd probably be a combo.
So you think they would do that? You think Brent Venables would do that?
If he's going to bring a guy like that, and I think he wants a guy who's just going to call the defense, knowing tendencies of the offense. People have coached in big-time leagues.
Guys, right now, OU, with the 4 down linemen they have, I mean, the defensive line is the strength of that defense by far. They have guys that can put pressure on the quarterback. I do love Knowles how he blitzes a lot, but here's the thing, Jerm. I don't think they're going after one. I don't think they're going to get one of those guys, Jerm. I'm
not saying they are either, Jay. You brought it up.
What? No, the chat was talking about earlier, Jerm. But you said you'd be for that. I don't see why that would happen. 3 more likes, guys. Lori's got it. 3 more likes to get to 100.
Okay,
Let's do it.
Can I clarify something? I didn't say I want it. I said I've changed my tune on if he brought a big name guy here's why I think he would do it.
So do you want him to do that?
If Jay,
no, this is not a hard question. Do you want them to bring in a big time defensive coordinator or not?
As opposed to who, Jay?
Okay, it's a pretty simple question. Do you want them to bring an experienced big time D coordinator in or not?
I'd have to have.
Oh my gosh. You always do this when you don't want to. I've never seen it. You won't answer the question. You just dance around it. It's not hard. Yes.
No, it is. It's because of what the hub said. If you're going to change the whole defense, the answer is no.
Exactly. There's no.
Now, if you want to bring a proven DC in, even maybe who wants to be just as an analyst who's good at calling plays and figuring out what teams are doing behind the scenes, that's great too.
Hey, and Greg got put in there. No, yes, I agree with you, Greg. And the people, listen, first off, I want to make myself very clear. Jason, and not saying that Knowles is even a guy there. I'm just saying.
I don't think of those guys are candidates.
That was just for a topic of conversation when people are talking about that. I am not saying they're interested in Knowles. They're interested in the Iowa defense. I'm not saying that at all. Okay. I'm just based off what people are saying all over Twitter and the Twitterverse and whatever. Yeah, get off the seat and make a decision, Germ.
Okay, you want me to make a decision? Then here's my decision. BV needs to call the defense. It's his defense. He's going out on his way. It's his team. It's his last year.
I agree with you, Germ.
That's what needs to happen. Stop talking about it.
I agree with you, Germ.
Not the people in the chat talking about OU. Do something. BV should make a decision right now.
Well, maybe they're waiting to talk to people. I don't know, Jerm. I'm not sure. How much?
Let me say this: if he does make a decision, I think BV needs to come out and say something. If he were to hire a guy like that, he needs to come out and say, "Here's why I decided to do this." Because there will be questions. By the way, Phil Parker gets about $2 million at Iowa.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance they're bringing a guy like that in. That would change a narrative.
If you're bringing players,
well, yeah, I mean that's a totally different animal. But what
you don't need defensive players, Jay.
It
was a trick question.
And Kayla, I think Kayla's right. BB's not going to let it go of his defense.
Yeah,
and Jerm and Mr. B's right here. Is there a rush? There's no rush right now. I mean, no rush. Hey, I'm going to get to trivia. Now this trivia is for OU basketball tickets for tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Thanks to one of our amazing viewers.
One of our great viewers is willing to give 2 tickets to this. So here we go. If you know the answer to this or you get this answer right, you have a chance to go to the game. You would just need to email us at SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com. We'll hook you up with the viewer to get you the tickets, get tickets transferred over. But here we go. And this is not an easy question. You might need to know some basketball.
It better be a basketball question.
It's a basketball question.
Heart, hustle, hardwood.
It's a basketball question. Here's the question. I'm not going to give the exact year because I don't want to make it too easy. But early 2000s, Oklahoma had a center that was from Budapest, Hungary. Who was that center?
I got it.
You know it?
Absolutely.
I think it might take a bit in the chat, but
it's going to take a bit.
2000
play a mean air guitar.
Yes.
He played a mean air guitar.
Yep. Early 2000s. It was not Jabari. He was from Virgin Islands.
Jabari Brown was great, though.
May have been on that same team, possibly. But this guy from Hungary.
That is correct. Its name is not
early 2000s. Chance to win 2 tickets to the OU A&M game tomorrow.
And again, according to multiple people, who are those people and how are they in the know? I don't know.
Not Burcham. I know this answer, Clement. Not Zubin. Clement, if you know the answer, drop it in here.
2 tickets on the line. Did you check out the fan stop?
BB talking. Yeah, I saw that comment already. I have not seen the answer yet, so we'll wait. Maybe I'll give you the year. Maybe I'll give you the year now.
I haven't seen Jay. Have you seen that?
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Sooner Pride, Joseph Zindray.
Who also became a strength and conditioning guy there, didn't he?
I believe he did. I believe. Sooner Pride with the W. Now, Sooner Pride, here's the question. Are you able to go to the game tomorrow? 8 o'clock? If so, the tickets are yours. And we'll hook you up with them, or the viewer will. But let us know if you can go, and then email us if you can. SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com.
Joseph Zindray. Ozaida's from Hungary.
Heath Ozida? I did not
know that.
Yeah, I don't either. Negotiation with Mike Stoops, baby.
Hey, do we want to open the phone lines for 15 minutes?
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go, bro.
Let's open the phone lines for 15 minutes. Sorry, I was a little late, Jay. I know I told you I'd be on about 9:45. I'm not. So.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. It was cold today, man. Ozida is hungry. There's a difference.
Hey, there's also, here's the link to call in. Check out the fan stop at thefanstop.com. Jay, there was also Jim Leonard. I saw someone put in the chat.
Hey, and we'll see what happens. I'm kind of intrigued by what's going to happen. We'll see. It's a good topic to talk about. That's for sure. I'm getting hungry too. Let me ask this question while we wait for people to call in. And I know the answer to this for you, Jerm, but if it's after you get off this live show, if you go eat something before bed, what is that? I know yours is going to be Fruity Pebbles cereal, probably.
Absolutely. Fruity.
Is it still Fruity Pebbles?
I may actually go in Walmart and get me some cornflakes tonight.
So you eat a bowl of cereal. I don't drink milk. I don't eat cereal. So we got a caller. We got Chuck. What's up? Chuck is on the line.
All right. Can you hear me?
How you doing tonight, Chuck?
All right. How are you guys doing?
Good. Doing good.
All right. No problem, right? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, did I hear somebody say Mike Stoops?
Somebody put it in the chat. I think they were being sarcastic.
Okay, because
yeah,
I stopped everything that I was doing and I called you guys. When I heard that, I was like, oh, please, no.
No, it's not.
But I think BV, I don't think that he has the time to allow someone else to come in to implement their own defense.
I agree.
He has to go with what he knows and what he has already been preparing the team to do. So, I mean, this is it, man. This is his last hurrah. And I think the defense is going to yet do good. It's just the offense that we have questions about. But anything's going to be better than what this year was. But I think more than anything, people are really, hey, we got the quarterback, that everybody wanted. But are we going to have everything that the quarterback needs around him?
Yeah, I think it's a great point with BV on the defense. And here's the thing, Chuck, it would make you talk about people questioning if the best thing that OU's had the last 3 years has been defense, and Brent Venables decided to go change it up. Can you imagine if it didn't work out that people would just ripping him for that? I mean, that would be so laughable.
I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Oh boy.
Could he be to a point where he's thinking, you know what I do best is motivate. I'm going to be the coach who really isn't involved with either offense or defense. And I'm just going to be that guy who's the motivator and let these guys cook. And that's why he wants to bring a big DC in. I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Well, okay. I'll answer that and then I'll get off the phone. I don't know what interview it was, but it was when Allie was here, and someone mentioned about Allie. I'm not saying it word for word, but said something about Allie having full control, and you should have seen BV's eyes, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna have some input on that." And
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
I
agree.
don't think,
I think that's what Greg God's saying too. He
yeah,
literally can't leave it alone.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna change overnight.
No,
Just saying,
Yeah.
I agree.
you guys have a
Thanks,
blessed night.
Chuck.
Hey, have a good night, Chuck. Hey, let's get to Daniel. Daniel Brooks, you're on the line. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good. You, man?
I'm doing good, doing good. I just had a few things. I'll try to be quick here, but the one just was from earlier about the DeMarco and the Caleb Hicks situation, and this
Yeah.
is just from experience, whether it be either playing or just from other players. I don't really understand. I don't know why, but sometimes coaches don't see it the way players do. Oftentimes, this is true. Coaches don't want to admit it because they're the coaches. Players have a better sense of who should be on the field playing than coaches do, because coaches see it from a lens of, oh, I trust this player more. I see this, and that's fine. But if players are saying in practice, Caleb this, Caleb that, not from coaches, players are saying it. You hear internally what players feel, how they feel. Oftentimes, that's the way to go. But coaches just won't do it. So sometimes you miss out on those players that have that potential just because a coach may like that player better, different things like that. And
Mhm.
then secondly, this was from yesterday. I put in the chat was this is from me. This is from Meach. This is from a whole bunch of different former players, even some that are older than me. And what I said was, is we're getting tired of seeing OU miss out on these big time players that we should be getting. And we feel that OU should be a threat just as much as those other universities. It makes no sense that we're in a recruiting competition and there is a fear that we're going to lose a recruit to A&M of the world, and we're Oklahoma. Anytime there's a top recruit, any school across the country should have in their mind and in their heart, like, oh God, OU is in the top three. We should fear of losing that player, and we don't feel that. And I was responding to some people yesterday, and I was saying, just speaking with some of the coaches, some people around there, and for some reason they have this, like I said, this nice guy mentality. Oh, we're going after these players, but we're just playing our cards. Forget all that. Go get them. Be aggressive. We're Oklahoma. I'm tired of this nice guy bull crap that I'm seeing from y'all, and it's from the entire staff, and I don't know what it is. And to not ramble on, and I'll let y'all speak after this, promise. Back to when you were asking about the 2017 versus 2018, I
Yeah.
actually went back right after that to look up the recruiting rankings,
Uh-huh.
and Bob was killing it then. I think I saw the 2004 recruiting class was like number 7, 2005 was number 4, I think 2006 was the lowest at 15, 2007 was 9, and I think 2008 was 6,
Yeah.
and he was
Kill.
killing it. But that just, to me, saying it's going back in that and seeing how they were killing it. But I'm just sorry, like a lot of us are just getting tired of we're in these battles and it's like Ohio State. Now, no, we're Oklahoma. We
Yeah.
need to be feared just as much as those top
Well, what-
schools. And we're just getting
When
tired
do you
of it.
think it dropped off, Daniel? When do you think that dropped off like that? Do you think it's do you,
Honestly, I think it dropped off when I was there. I think around
the end of Bob's era, kind of?
around 2015, I feel like that fear of OU being the recruiting juggernaut that it was, and I'm not saying UT has always recruited higher than OU has, so I'm not trying to compare to that, but I just feel like somewhere around there, and I may be wrong, it just felt like OU didn't strike the fear in the recruitment field that it did in those past years. And then when Lincoln came in, it just completely changed. And Lincoln did get top players, and hopefully Brent can get it back to that. But I feel like from 2014 to about 2019, you kind of felt this shift in fear. And then I think now I just have a sense that it's just gone and we have to build it back, because I'm tired of seeing top players to Missouri. We're losing to Missouri. Do you ever think that Ohio State or Georgia is going to lose to Missouri? I'm sorry, I'm not saying they don't lose recruiting battles, but Oklahoma losing to Missouri and A&M is ticking me off and it's ticking a lot of us off, and they need to do something about it and quit this good guy mentality and be pissed off and mad and let them know, hey, we're this O and this U on this helmet means something. So that's just my spiel.
Hey, I love it, Daniel. Great call, man.
Mark says that Daniel ran a sub 4.2 on that call. That was elite.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, Daniel.
And Jay, what it makes me wonder is, because it sounds like what he's saying is also that there's a passiveness with the staff, that the killer mentality that is preached by staff is maybe not practiced by themselves in regards to recruiting. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what it sounds like a little, where it's like, okay, that's so fine. We didn't go get that guy. They should be upset that they didn't get guys. They should be doing anything they can to get them.
Well, and a lot of people are saying
NIL. Some saying it's because of NIL, and it may be. But there's also, I think, Jay, the whole staff recruiting-wise should be on the same page, like aggressive all across the board. But you got position coaches, I think, and I'm going to give one, Jay. How aggressive is Joe John Finley in recruiting?
Yeah, I don't
Are some certain coaches less aggressive, so it just gives a bad, like the staff to me should be unified in how they approach recruiting.
Well, and then let me get to Keith. We'll get to Keith, and then I want to say something else. But let's get Keith. He's on hold here. What's up, Keith?
Hey, guys.
What's up?
I wanted to ask you, the other night, y'all were talking about corners.
Uh-huh.
And it seemed like you hinted at an idea of getting a third corner and maybe using them as a halfback. Are they thinking about maybe going back to more of an option?
You talking about on offense?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, corner defense. We're talking defense.
Oh, shoot.
Are you talking about using a wide receiver as an H-back?
Maybe so.
Now, I did mention moving like Kanik, who's on defense, over to an H-back type role.
Maybe that's what you're talking about, Keith. Maybe you're talking about when he was moving Kanik over.
Now, Keith, if you're asking if OU should use a fullback, H-back, or some kind of a double tight end where they could run some option, I'm all for different formations. I would be for that.
Does that sound like something Ben Arbuckle would do?
Yeah,
I think Arbuckle.
Here's why I'll say he might do it. He's not tied to one scheme.
Yeah.
He'll do what he has the personnel for. If he feels like he has personnel for it, he might try it. But they're not. Nobody. I don't think any power team ever is going to come out there and run option and wishbone again. I just don't think anybody will do it.
Boy, it was great back in the Switzer days.
It was that era. It was, but I just don't think you could do it these type of games and win. Too many dominant defensive fronts.
The military academies do it to a great.
They do, but then when they play the big schools, they don't win.
So Navy played OU and rushed for 200, though. So.
Well, they did. Okay, Jeremy, you're right. You're right. Hey, thanks, Keith. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
I do hope they utilize an H-back, Jay. Hey, Pride respond on the tickets.
Sooner Pride, let us know. If not, we'll figure out another way to give those out. But hey, one thing I was going to say is when Daniel Brooks was talking, and I loved what he said, and I wonder when you talked about it, people are talking about NIL or whatever, but if you have a coaching staff that's like embracing all that and has that swag or attitude to go after that, I think it helps with everything, all of it involved. But, I was wondering, did it drop off when Saban and those teams started winning everything? Did it drop off? I think when it really dropped off was when OU got really bad defensively. That's when I think it started to drop off. Like you talk about early, like 16, 17, they weren't very good defensively. I don't know. He hinted at 2014, so maybe he's
right now they're recruiting better defensively with BV, but they
Correct.
But they also have a couple of elite offensive linemen coming in.
Yeah.
So, Jay, I have not seen Sooner Pride respond. Lori needs one more like. Make Lori, hey, give Lori one more like. We need this. Appreciate it.
Hey, by the way, I'm glad Mr. B brought up the name. Somebody dropped it in earlier about Foje. Foje is having a great time there at practices for the game he's in. You had Fasusi really good at the Under Armour game. Those two guys, I mean, they got between EPL, Fasusi, Foje, Ozai. I mean, they got some really talented O linemen. But how early can they cohesively get together and play well? We'll see. They got a lot of work to do offensively with the new offense and the new scheme, but they got some talent on the offensive line.
I will say this. People want to talk about the John Blake years, Jay.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. This could very well, and I hate to end it on this note tonight. This could because I love BV. This could very well be a situation where BV struggles again. He's let go. A new coach comes in, and they have talent everywhere because BV they've got some guys, some young dudes that are going to be special players.
Vern, if you're an OU fan, you got to want it to work out for Brent Venables.
So they don't lose a lot of these guys?
Well, just ideally, if you're an OU fan, you want it to work out next year and then to get a lot better and then it start going good. That's what you would hope for. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I think you would hope for that.
What I was saying with Sooner WX is, yeah, John Blake era was, but he recruited okay, and there are guys there.
Hey, and Lori got the likes. Appreciate it, Lori. You've been awesome tonight on that.
Lori
and Jimmy, you're right. I heard this the other day. I think it's a great move. I think it's great.
He's going to play more there than he would at Edge.
I think it would be great.
Hey, I have not heard from Sooner Pride, Jay. So Sooner Pride needs to email us at SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com for those tickets. If not, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Blake was a great recruiter, and he developed young men. Hey, there's the email. Hey, also, I want to say this. If you are a member of our channel and you're not in the Discord link, please email us. You're already ready to go. All you got to do is email us, SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com. You can be in the Discord link. It's fun to chat with people on there. It can get good banter sometimes, but it's also really fun just to – and by the way, we have not talked about this. I got to say it. Yeah, you got the big OU basketball game tomorrow, but OU softball had a player, Sophia Borden, that enrolled and is there. And it was not supposed to be till next year, but she's enrolled and moved in. So she's on the team. Very interesting. So I would assume she's at church, but –
What's on your jacket that's black?
It's part of my jacket.
Other side.
This?
Other side.
What do you mean? It's the inside of the jacket, Jerm.
Folded wrong. Sorry.
Folded. Was it bothering you all night?
Hey, guys, I do appreciate. Shout out to Jay for rolling with this thing by himself until I got on here. We appreciate all of the comments. Sooner Pride, email us. We thank you to the viewer who's donating tickets, and that person will get the info to the right person, and you'll know who that is. But we appreciate it. Great calls tonight, as always. Man, good night, Jay. It's good night.
Good night. Stay warm, everybody.
The big question mark, guys. I'm getting ready to go to Walmart. I'm going to have to stop the Odyssey.
Don't do it, Jerm.
Delane and others, I'll be reaching out to you if I need you. Appreciate it.